Hello again, Year 11, and welcome to this film about question 3 from your foundation exam paper. If you're self-assessing, have your exam paper out and the sheet that you use to assess yourself. Right, this was about Fernando Torres. It says, now read source 2, the extract from the autobiography of the footballer Fernando Torres. It's worth 8 marks, so therefore it should take you about 12 minutes to do. Don't spend ages on this question. Okay. The question is, how does Fernando Torres like to spend his free time? And they show you, this is how much space they gave you to do it. Now, really important, you don't have to fill all the space. Particularly if you've got smaller handwriting, don't feel you have to keep writing until you get to the end here, because you don't. Timing is really, really important. They give you more space than you need, obviously. In terms of the question itself, how does he like to spend his free time? It's very similar, the mark scheme is very similar to the last question. If I show you the mark scheme now, it's almost exactly the same. The skill again is showing that you can read and understand the text, and that you can read below the surface a little bit. That you can kind of, again it uses this word, you make inferences. And again I'll try and show you in the model what that means. It's about not just going for the obvious. Again, quotations are important. Again, developing your ideas, making developed references to how you spend, to how Torres spends his free time. If you want to look at the mark scheme in a bit more detail, pause now and do so and have a look at that. However, I would like to show you again the success criteria in a slightly different way. And it's very similar. It really is very similar. It's, to get excellent work in this, to get higher marks, you're looking to make 2 or 3 clear points, including some that are not so obvious. Okay, actually I'm thinking about that. Maybe you need to make 3 or 4 for this question. I'm going to adapt that slightly. 3 or 4 is probably better. You provide a short quotation for each point, again not copying chunks out from the text, but just a short quotation, and you explain in a developed way, explain in detail what each point or quotation tells us about how Fernando Torres likes to use his free time. Okay, so it's not really simple, but it's using a short quote and it's developing the ideas. I'll show you a model of a possible answer now.
Okay, so this student, which was a real answer, has written, Fernando Torres likes to do his own thing in his spare time and live in a Spanish way. He says that we still follow a Spanish timetable. Eating at English times feels too early, so we started arranging barbecues. One Sunday we started eating in the garden. This shows he likes to be reminded of his home in Spain and to do things with his family. Now, in some ways that's not bad, because it's got a point, it's got some evidence, and it sort of goes on to explain it. There's some problems with it though. First of all, look at that where it says Fernando Torres. Straight away you're not using a capital letter for T for name, and even though that's not in the mark scheme, it doesn't look good and it will prejudice your examiner against you. Look at the way this student's used quotations. The quotation is way too long. They've copied out almost 3 complete sentences, and you just haven't got time to do that. You need to get that quote really short. And apart from that, it's not bad, I suppose. You don't need, I suppose one Sunday we started eating in the garden, you don't need that bit in there. But other than that, it's not bad. But the problem with this is it will get you a couple of marks. It's only part of the full answer, obviously. But the big problem is that it'll take too long and you're copying too much out from the text. You haven't got time to do that. Right, I'll show you a better answer now. Okay, this one reads, one way that Torres likes to spend his spare time is by enjoying a Spanish lifestyle with his family. For example, he says that eating at English times ... feels too early and that they have barbecues quite often. This shows that he likes to eat in a sociable way, enjoying the outdoors and seeing meal times as an opportunity to enjoy the company of others. Now that's much better. Look at the start. One way that Torres likes to spend his time. They haven't bothered writing Fernando Torres again, and it's accurate. The quotation is really short, and look at the way they've used ... when it says eating at English times ... which is called ellipsis, to miss out the bit of quotation that they don't need. And then it says they have barbecues quite often. They haven't given a direct quotation for that bit, that's all right, but that's all right. This shows that he likes to eat in a sociable way. They're drawing inference here. They're drawing conclusions from what he says. So that's a much better answer because it's clearer, it's shorter and more to the point, and sort of gets on with it. It then goes on, start of the next point. Another way he likes to spend his free time is by reading, and they do the same thing for that. Now, if you write in that sort of way, and you make 3 or 4 points, you're going to get full marks or close to full marks for this question.
Okay, so once again, tips for this question are very similar. Don't write for too long. 12 minutes for this question only. Don't go on and on. If you spend 20 minutes on this question, you're just taking time away from section B, where you need that time and you can pick up marks more easily. There's more marks available. And again, don't start writing about language. Tempting though that might be, interesting though that might be. Well, we would think it was, but you know, don't start talking about, oh, it uses simile, it uses a rule of 3, it uses quotations or whatever. You don't need to do that in this bit. Right, save that skill for when it's tested. Okay, so have a look at your answer, see how close it was to the model, see whether you're filling the success criteria, and give yourself a mark out of 8. That's right, isn't it? Give yourself a mark out of 8 for this question.